Chaos.
All right, how we doing, everybody? The title says it all. It is Retromania 77. Happy Sunday to everybody. It is the beginning of summer. Technically, that was yesterday, I think. June 22nd today. Tomorrow, funny enough, is June 23rd. It's also the 34th anniversary of my favorite gaming character of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog, who we might see in today's show. We might not, but of course with Retromania, you never quite know what you're going to get. But we do know one thing, and I feel like, it's very rare. I mean, I say rare, but it's unlikely that the weather is ever going to be the same in all regions. But this does feel like, at least, when it's this hot here, hey, we got a couple people here. Is this the future game show? Yes, we are looking at the future. If you're watching this in 1975, you will be amazed at some of the games that we show you today. What's going on, Queen Bee? What's up, Becca-san? Thanks for joining. Both of you here today. Always here early. I love that. Queen Bee and Becca-san both usually here, right at the beginning of the episode, basically. Timeliness is something I take very seriously, except the rest of the week where I just kind of stream whenever I feel like it. But seriously, no, this is Retro 77. I'm excited to have everybody here. We got a summer-themed episode here today. So you're probably like, what makes an episode a summer-themed episode? Well, these are games that, and then there will be a few grab bags in here as well, so they might not all follow the theme, but these are games that just kind of either remind me of summer, have some summer elements to them. Some of them are a little bit of a stretch, I'll admit, but I had a lot of fun putting this list together. Now, last Retromania, Retro 76, we looked at games pretty much all from the 80s, late 80s up to through 1990. We saw Mario 3D Land on the original Game Boy, original Mega Man, all kinds of stuff here. This retro gal loves Retromania. Nice, glad to hear that. Snowboarding, I actually did consider, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. I did consider doing like a few games you wouldn't expect, like some icy games like that, but we'll see what today has to offer. But before we get to that, because this is something fairly new I like to do, we're going to do our icebreaker poll, speaking of breaking the ice. And today's is very simple. It is, what is your favorite season of the year? And As soon as it loads, we'll find out exactly what's going on with that. This is a poll before the game, and, you know, everyone can vote on this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and vote on it myself as well. This is one that's actually kind of hard for me to answer, because on one hand, you could argue that fall has the best atmosphere. I've always loved the atmosphere of fall, especially from September and October. But winter has my favorite holiday of all time, which is Christmas. But then again, even with that, Christmas is like, the fourth day of winter, and then after that, it's just like 4 months of cold. But I still got to go winter. There's something about that atmosphere. Not to say I don't like the other seasons, and summer has its value as well. I think today we might feel some of the not-so-good aspects of summer, which is extreme heat, at least in this room, and at least probably wherever you all are. I was just saying, we got a redemption for Color My World. Now, Sunshine Yellow, would that be like more of a... That's like more of a orangey color. Like, that's just yellow. Like, that's just straight yellow. There's actually a surprising variation of colors on this thing. Like, you'd think it would just be like red, green, blue. No, there's like 27 colors on here. I can even alternate the colors. That's pretty great. I think if we go any deeper than that, yeah, we're getting into like orange there. The camera doesn't always display it right either. Hey, what's going on, Chads? Welcome to the show. Right now, it is obviously time for Retromania 77. We got some great summer vibes coming your way. But ironically, the first question of the day, before we even get to the voting, is what is your favorite, not holiday, what is your favorite season of the year between winter, spring, summer, and fall? And you don't have to feel like you have to say summer. It does all 27. I actually don't know if this one. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. I don't know. What would you round that up to, like 20? Because these are all just kind of effects on the bottom. You can do like a fade between them. I generally don't do those effects because I feel like it just causes a whole seizure type of deal, and I can't be held responsible. I don't have a lot going on here. Fall, I feel. Well, if you want to pick fall, it is available right now. We got a couple more minutes to go here on the icebreaker poll before we get to the good stuff. The good stuff, of course, is the voting. And what voting it's going to be. Back to the Z. I'm glad that name is making a comeback. Back to the Z. I feel like that would have been right at home in a 90s type of game with like a lot of graffiti in it. Not to say Jet Set Radio, but I won't because you didn't play that. At least not yesterday. I had to convert it. But it's 60... Oh, 61? That's not bad at all. Oh, I would love 61. 61 actually is more like fall weather. Like, that's why I like fall. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's, you know, can be a little warmer. It can be a little cooler. I'm going to say 61 sounds cold compared to what we got now. Right here, it's 86 here in my area. Yeah, Fahrenheit. I'm bad with the conversions. Sometimes I hear people from Europe go, oh, it's like 30 degrees here. I'm like, that's really cold. It's a Scottish summer. See, I don't know too much about Scotland, but I've heard some things. Yeah, 93, I've heard a lot of that. High 80s, low 90s, that's what I've heard for temperatures around here. 34 Celsius, which again, sounds really cool until you consider it Celsius. All right, so winter winning this icebreaker poll 2-1. I probably cast the tie-breaking vote. In fact, I did cast the tie-breaking vote. So, ironically, in the summer stream of today, winter just won the poll. Summer didn't get a single vote, but it's also early. So early in the show. Any of you who are new to a Retromania, which is none of you, you know how this thing works. We got 5 different rounds of voting, you know, different games, different grab bags, different random things like that. So just like that poll we just did, we're going to get down to the main show. We got Lena Rem joining us here, always a good addition. That was just, we just did the icebreaker poll, Lena Rem. We just finished, yeah, maybe. We just finished the icebreaker poll, which is what is your favorite season of the year between summer, winter, fall, and summer. Did I say summer twice? I don't know. I probably said summer twice. I say a lot of things a lot. These episodes always have like a, I don't want to say slow start, but like it's just weird. I think I need some music or something. I need an atmosphere. We're working on it. We're working on it. But yeah, we got Bex, we got Rem, we got Shads, we got Queen Bee. Who knows who else we have lurking in the shadows. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and get things started here. I was also leaning toward fall. I ended up going winter, but there's certainly nothing wrong with fall. You got Halloween. You got the great weather. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. You guys know. You guys know what happens. Fall or autumn, or Herbst, I believe is the word. I should just do all these polls in German, although it's not going to really matter from here on out. Because from here on out, we're looking at retro games. And so to kick things off right now, I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll in Twitch first, because it just always takes longer to populate. Retromania, round 1, fight. Battletoads. I already told you, man, we're not doing Battletoads. I'm sorry. I actually looked on Switch Online service. That is an option. But the real options are Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform, Sonic Heroes on GameCube, Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure, that's a bit of a deep cut, as well as Cell Damage on the Nintendo GameCube. So feel free to vote now. That poll should be in the chat options right where you're all chatting. And again, thank you all so much for watching Retromania 77 as we get started here today. And I've got quite a few games, I do. And you do love Halloween, and that's kind of where my mind went for winter, for Christmas. I'm like, well, you know, winter, I could take or leave the winter weather, but Christmas, kind of the biggest holiday of the year for me, so I can't really go against that. And, yeah, I think I can already predict I have a glitch with this graphic. I'm just going to say it now so that nobody goes like, oh, there's a glitch with this graphic. And the glitch with the graphic is, one of these options, I want to say Cell Damage, starts to move up and off the page. That is completely on me. I'm not even going to pretend it's not. So, if it happens, which I think it will, because I don't think I fixed it, I already predicted it. That doesn't make it okay, but I'm just telling you that's probably what's going to happen. It doesn't affect anything. Poll-wise, the poll will still be the same, but those are your options there. Also, Twitch only lets me put a certain number of characters in, like, for the actual options, so that's why Sonic All-Stars Transformed is cut off. Apparently we're, like, 40 characters, so we can't do more than that. I don't know. But yeah, we got some great games today, spanning a whole bunch of different consoles. Let's get retroactive indeed. Did I not say that yet? I gotta say that. Let's get retroactive for the summer, for all of us, for the firemen. Round one getting underway here. We got 4 votes cast. I'm not gonna say what they're for. Oh, 5 votes cast. I'm not gonna say what they're for, but we got our 5 options available right now. I believe this is, oh, did it happen? I think I saw it. More cell damage glitching away right now. I actually know exactly why that happened. It's very unusual, but it's also whatever. I have a template for all these. They actually don't take as long to make as you would think. I just switched the games out. You'd think after, what, 3 years of doing this? No. Goddamn, no. I've been doing Retromania for like 5 or 6 years now. You think I would have this down a little bit better. You would think wrong. Believe it or not, though, the new system I have is a lot easier than the old system where I would actually design these templates on Photoshop, which, again, is not a hard program to use, but it was, like, just a lot of, like, switching out JPEGs and stuff, which is still kind of what I do here. Anyway, nobody wants to hear about the inside stuff for Retromania. You guys just want to see the games. Shads and Zero are both here. They want to see some games. Sly Jesus is here. He wants to see some Battletoads. He's not going to see it. But now that I know he likes it, that could come up in a future episode, because that's what it's all about, you know, getting to know each other and what games we like. I'm still trying to figure out the significance of the Battletoads for Sly G's. Was that like a game you played a lot when you were younger, or you're just curious about it? There's no wrong answer. We're all here to have a good time, so, you know, some people like Battletoads. I was more partial to TMNT and some of the other fighting things. Shads and I, every photo is... in Photoshop. What is it called? Sorry, the chat is getting blocked by my own poll right now. But when I read it, watch out. Apparently you found some knockoff of Photoshop that's actually better than Photoshop. I believe it. I believe it. As somebody who's used Photoshop for a long, long time. Hey, what's going on, Scarecrow? You're just in time. We got maybe like a little over a minute and a half to go in this first round. Yeah, somebody who's used Photoshop for a long, long time. And I do love it, but I feel like it can be replicated pretty easily, especially for the high price tag. It's like, I don't even know how much Photoshop is these days to buy a new copy. I'm still working off my old copy that I bought while I was in college. It never got deactivated. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of the new one. Affinity Photo, the one-time fee. Well, that I already like that, because if you want to get the new Photoshop, I think it's like a yearly subscription now, which is the main reason I didn't. My version is like Photoshop CS6, which is like probably 12 years old now. But it works. It works for what I do. I make a lot of logos with it still. In fact, I have the whole creative suite. I hope they never catch on to me because, you know, if and when I get a new computer, I just want to put that disc in and install it. I don't know if I ran out of installs, though. Tiny Toon games. Oh, Tiny Toon games are fun. There's not that many of them, to be honest. At least there weren't. I Can Like You, and If It Will Be on Sale. I thought you did like me. I'm confused. Why do you have to like me to do that? I thought you did like me. Well, I find that a little insulting. I mean, that you have to like me first. I thought you liked me anyway. Do I have to? This is how I have to earn your liking, your trust. Whatever. You know what? The round's almost coming to an end here, and let's see what happens. It is a tie between Donkey Kong Country and Sonic All-Stars Transformed, which I actually did not expect. 3-3 tie. So I mentioned last episode, and this is something that's going to be very situational because you guys know I hate ties. But if we're going to have them, this is the dumbest idea I've ever had. I mean, I've had some dumb ones, but this is a dumb idea. I mentioned that if the games were not digital downloads, which these are not, these are both physical copies, that I would throw them into a grab bag and basically just pick between them. The problem with that is, one is a chunky cartridge and one is, like, a disc. So this is not going to be fair either way. You know what? Let's make it fair. Let's humor me for a second here. Because like I said, I can tell what game is what. So here's what we're going to do. Tie-break style. This is the actual game case, obviously. This is the actual game case of Sonic All-Stars Transformed. Instead of throwing a Super Nintendo cartridge in there, because obviously it's not going to be random, I'm going to throw Cell Damage's case in there. So Cell Damage's case represents Donkey Kong Country. Well, sometimes there might be more than 2 games tied. I hate ties, I do. Because then I gotta be the bad guy either way. Somebody's unhappy, or I gotta do retro trivia, the thing lags. I don't know why I'm doing this. So these both are the games. Cell Damage will be Donkey Kong Country if I pick it. I have no way to know. I just want to make sure this is all on the up and up. This is a very... Yeah, I know, the coin toss would work too, but again, I don't know. Plus, the whole thing with digital downloads, and why didn't I think of this last week? All right, here we go. Winner is this one. It is Sonic All-Stars Transformed. I'll hunt you down. God damn it, it really is time for me to get hunted down and die. You timed that impeccably well, I have to say. Donkey Kong didn't win, unfortunately, unless he got like a freaking, I don't know, he's got his skin painted blue. Hey, yo. Alright, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed it is. And there are some good summer things here. I was going to say, well, I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but with how messy this room is and how, like, glitchy everything is already, I said, ooh, Donkey Kong won. I gotta say, even though it was a tie, the Donkey Kong fans seem a lot more vocal. But, it's okay. If it makes you feel any better, that is not the last Donkey Kong game to appear on this list. Because I do think Donkey Kong is very, what's the word? Summery. It's a very summer type of game. And that's what we're going to see. The chat has spoken. Beef stew or gumbo? I'm right on that one. Maybe I pre-ordered the new one yesterday, so maybe buy it. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Bonanza looks fantastic. And, obviously, that's the next big hitter on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, yeah, no, can't complain there. I mean, this is a great game, and, you know, the thing I wanted to focus on, which I always do focus on for Retromanias, is kind of the diversity, the different games. Well, of course I'll be getting it, if you mean Donkey Kong Bonanza. Because, well, there aren't that many games on Switch 2 right now, and that looks like a great one. So, Crossworld is, actually. Crossworld looks like it's going to be really good. As a Sonic fan, obviously... Xbox 360's been retro for a while, at least on my show. I think the first time a game appeared on retro from Xbox 360, I think it was like episode 3. Like, I've always had Xbox 360 games on Retromania. Retromania doesn't just have to be the 90s. Well, this game did come out. I'm kind of pushing it, but then again, we'll see. I'm going to skip this cutscene right now. This was massively better than the first. Oh, this game, if you're talking about this game versus Sega All-Stars Racing, I agree with that. You're making me feel old. Yeah. I just want to see something here. Alright, so there's some good summer courses we can do in here. We're going to do them right now. The whole point of this show is to feel old. I was going to say, like, Xbox 360 I consider retro, but if not, then we're in some trouble here. I wasn't born when the 360 released. Oh, there we go. Hey, yo. Team Sonic. I was going to say, Team Sonic Racing kind of is what has me a little bit worried about, what do you call it, Crossworlds. Just because, like, if Crossworlds played just like this game, I'd be super excited for it. And let's just start with the Coastal Cruise. But anyway. Hey, yo, we returned it when the PC... The Wii U, I actually have, or had the Wii U version of Sonic All-Stars Transformed. I also don't think they are. I think it's strictly like a Sega Sonic Team effort. I've played Crossworlds, believe it or not. I played the beta demo that was available for like a week. I thought it was pretty fun. I still think this game controls better, but... Did you hear SpongeBob's going to be in it? SpongeBob, TMNT, Avatar characters. I'm not even making this up. I wish I was. I don't know how Sega got a deal done with Nickelodeon, but there they are. We still can't get, like, Nights into Dreams. More right now. Ah, yeah. I always loved the drifting in this game is so tight. Speed is really good. I've also been playing a lot of Mario Kart World, so I might not be quite used to this. Stun failed! Oh, yeah. This also was the beginning of all the voice lines that Bex loves so much. Like everybody yelling and shouting when they get hit or whatever. More right now. Yeah, I don't know about the... I mean, I don't know. Which to me is no big loss. I mean, okay, you might get a few more sales from the Nickelodeon crowd by putting SpongeBob in it. Other than that, and I'm a SpongeBob fan, I don't really... I'm not going to get that excited about it. I'll probably end up getting it, like the DLC, just to have more content in the game, but... There was something funny about seeing Shadow racing SpongeBob and be like, I'm going to carry you. Yeah, SpongeBob was leaked a while... Ouch. SpongeBob was leaked a while ago, and I just kind of wanted to not believe it. Apparently, it was true. Whoops. Sometimes the rumors are true. Oh, that was actually a nice combo right there. All right, whoever's in first got way out ahead here. Seriously, it does kind of feel like that, doesn't it? Which makes me think they have to have other Sega characters in there, like Shinobi or BD Joe, who's in this game, if they're going to throw in the likes of, what do you call it, SpongeBob and Minecraft. And, I mean, they are going to have other Sonic characters like Persona and the guy from freaking, what's it called, Yakuza. So, I mean, there will be some other ones. I have nothing against SpongeBob. I just think it's, like, insanely random. But, you know what? Good for Sega. If anything, that does kind of feel like a, ouch. It does kind of feel like a retro Sega move to just pull something like, hey, look, we got SpongeBob. Like, don't see Nintendo doing that. Hey, yo. I'll give them that. They definitely outdid Nintendo on character creativity, and that's saying something because Nintendo has a literal cow in their game. Ooh, Ichiban. Who's from, what, Yakuza? I should know this. I just played Yakuza, like, last week. There's a bunch of games I play. Doesn't mean I pay attention to most of them. But if I did, oh boy, would we pay attention to them. I like all the side routes in this game. I will say, in the limited time I played Crossworlds, I like that they added back some of those side routes where you can take completely different directions depending on how you go. The cow is better than SpongeBob. Oh no! I really did die while reading that the cow is better than SpongeBob. I really did finish. That's all they could say is finish because... Wait, they made a Yakuza 7? There was Yakuza 6. I think the next one was called, like a Dragon. I don't know if that's Yakuza 7. More right now. Like 70%. It does seem that way. Because how do they get, like, Snake and all these other characters for, Smash Brothers? They got freaking Ryu from Street Fighter. Yeah, I'm all over the place right now, but that's alright. That's what Retro's all about, is being all over the place. We're being all over the place right now. I forgot loading screens were longer back then. Because in Japan it's called Like a Dragon, and 7 combined the titles and renamed the series here. In Japan it's called Like a Dragon. It's called Like a Dragon here. I don't know, like... I mean, I get what you're saying. Some games have different names in Japan, but it's still called the same thing. Even here, it's not called Yakuza 7. It might be in Europe, but... Alright, speaking of Shadow, let's see what his deal is. You got a gun helicopter, a gun vehicle. I think he'd be very anti-gun with everything that happened. Biohazard is a... I thought you were gonna... no one's gonna get this reference unless Big Mac's here. I thought she said Bio-Lizard, and I'm like, how do you know the Bio-Lizard? I was impressed. Biohazard, I know, is Resident Evil in Japan. More, right now. Yakuza 1 through 6 to rename to Like a Dragon from 7 onwards. How many freaking Yakuza games are there? Like, I know, even besides the main 6, there's like Yakuza 0, then Like a Dragon, which I guess is 7. Anyway, Shadow's got to avenge that loss I just took there. Go! That's Rystar at the starting gate, by the way. That's a deep cut. Bio-Lizard, oh my god! You know what? I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Just this giant lizard in this really small cart. I did like his little Easter egg in Sonic Movie 3. I thought that was interesting the way they used him. At first I didn't get it, and then on a rewatch I saw him. I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Because I was wondering, I'm like, they're not going to have the Bio-Lizard in Sonic Movie 3. I mean, to be honest with you, other than the spectacle Bio-Lizard's nothing special, but it was a good final boss for that one game, which you might even see today. More right now. Woo! Yo, owning the race. All right, well, we'll see how that goes. They're probably characters. I mean, I don't know if it's easier or Sega just wants to do that this time because the last few, you know, games before Sonic Team Racing was, you know, all the various Sega characters. And let's face it, more people know who SpongeBob is than, like, Knights into Dreams. Like, I mean, I know who that is, but I think SpongeBob and Minecraft have a lot more popularity right now than, you know, Shinobi, who I freaking love, or, you know, name your Sega character here, BD Joe. At the same time, Sega is trying to rejuvenate those franchises, so this would be the perfect time to throw them into a kart racer where everybody would play it and go, oh, who's this person? And they might learn more about the character. I don't know. We also have Shinobi Art of Vengeance coming out this summer before Crossworlds. I always call it Crossroads. Dominating! Blowfish! Say, none of these power-ups are specific to anything. That's one thing I did like about Team Sonic Racing, which, by the way, is not a bad game, but just not as smooth as this game. But one thing I gotta give Team Sonic Racing credit for is the power-ups are actually from Sonic. Like, they're Wisp power-ups, but they're from Sonic. They're like lasers and drills and stuff. These power-ups are completely random, not related to anything at all. You guys remember that Sonic game or that Sega game with the Blowfish and the Bumblebees in it? Like, no. Like, this is literally the only game it appears in. I don't know why my controls are getting so wonky right now. Firework! Whee! I actually kind of like the title. Is it Crossroads or Crossworlds? I like the title, though. I like that they are literally, you know, combining tracks. I don't think I've ever seen a kart racer do that. I'm sure some have, but, you know, where you actually go from lap 1 to lap 2, and it's a completely different dimension for, like, one lap. I think that's a really cool idea. Again, I mean, we'll see how it is in execution. I thought the demo was really good. The beta I played. Crossworlds, okay. I like Crossworlds. I mean, yeah, is it the best title ever? Probably not. I remember there was a leak a few years ago for a Sonic game called Sonic Rift. That might be what the original title was. I don't know. Like, we don't find out until years after the fact. Like, Sonic Frontiers was maybe going to be called Sonic Rangers. Like, we find out later what it was supposed to be. Sonic Riders, I mean, there already is a Sonic Riders. I'm actually kind of mixed on having the Sonic Riders gear in it. Like, I'm happy for the Sonic Riders fans that you can, like, ride those hoverboards. I didn't hate Sonic Riders, but I didn't think it was really, like, this amazing game that most people think it is. It's a good game. But, you know, if people want to use those hoverboards, cool. I'm glad it's an option. I just personally, I never found them that fun to control. Maybe they fixed it in this game. I thought the hoverboards were very clunky in the game they're from, Sonic Riders, but, you know, I think for a kart racer, they'd be kind of terrible, because at least Sonic Riders was built with that in mind. So you had a lot of straightaways and not a lot of drifting. In a kart racer, you have a lot of drifting, and I don't know how the hoverboards would handle that, even if they try to bring it over. But it's a reference. It's a nice reference to Sonic's history. I get it. Important. You know, on the whole matter of being tough to compete with Mario Kart World, yes and no. I mean, nobody's going to claim it's better than Mario Kart. Except for me, maybe. And I will gladly take this game over most Mario Karts, by the way. I love the controls in this game. But, no, I don't think it'll be better than Mario Kart World. But I think it does offer something Mario Kart World doesn't, which is the changing landscapes. I think it's a little bit faster paced. It's got a lot more vehicles. You can customize those vehicles, which to me is not the biggest thing, but I know some people like that. It's got a pretty big roster of characters, maybe not as big as Mario Kart World. But it doesn't have the open world, but honestly, again, I realize I'm in the minority here. I don't think the open world really adds a lot to Mario Kart World. I think it's decent, but I'm not like, wow, I need an open world in every kart racer. But you know what? Nintendo obviously pushed the envelope with Mario Kart World, and I give them credit for it. And I don't think Cross Worlds is pushing the envelope in the same way. But I still think it's... I mean, I'm going to play both of them, obviously. I'm going to play Mario Kart World, and I'm going to play... oh, God, yeah, I think Transformed is better than pretty much any Mario Kart. The only thing it doesn't have going for it is it doesn't have as many tracks. That's literally it. But to me, kart races are all about control, and this game has the best controls of any kart racer I've played, including Mario Kart. The items are just kind of whatever, but... Oh, I want to play this stage. Like I said, like, I know, you know, as a Sega fan, anything I say is going to come off as, like, very anti-Nintendo, and that is true. I'm always taking shots at the big end, if you will. But, it's mostly in jest. Mostly. I think Sega still has a lot to offer, particularly in the racing game field, which obviously this is. I think they still make some of the best racing games, even to this day. Now, they're not as good as they used to be, but I could say that about a lot of Sega stuff. It's not as good as it used to be. But then I just come off like a cantankerous old man. I'm willing to give this new wave of Sega rejuvenants a chance, Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, Crossworlds. I'm hoping by the end of this year we get some announcements on the new Jet Set Radio, the new Crazy Taxi, and I'm even hearing rumors of the next mainline Sonic game for 2026. So, Sega's on their game. I got to give it to them. If they drop the ball, I'm the first one going, come on, Sega, what are you doing? So, when it comes to, the games they have coming out, I haven't really seen a stinker in the bunch. They might not all be my cup of tea, but, Like a Dragon, I heard got really good reviews. Sonic Crossworlds looks great. Shinobi looks great. And assuming they're being serious about rejuvenating their old franchises, I cannot complain about that. And when I say rejuvenating, I don't mean remaking. They're making completely new games on those franchises. The new Shinobi looks freaking fantastic. I've watched a lot of gameplay of it. I'm excited. That's all I want at this point. I've kind of given up the dream, if you will, some pun intended, the Dreamcast. I've kind of given up the dream of Sega returning to consoles. But if they can just be a really good, I'll even hesitate to say AAA, but if they can be a really good third-party developer that people get excited about again, I will take that as a longtime Sega fan. I think Sega has so much to offer. And I feel like I'm always like that teacher that's like, oh, little Billy, it was such a good attempt, but, you didn't quite stick the landing. That's how I feel with Sega. It's like, you guys have so much potential. And it's like, you just settle for being pretty good. And I haven't felt that way as much recently. I think Shadow Generations was actually a high-quality effort, to the point where I almost believe Sega now. I almost believe them when they say, oh yeah, we're paying attention to the quality of Sonic games. Because they've been saying that for years. What are they supposed to say? Yeah, we don't care if the Sonic games are good. Of course they're going to say they care about the quality. But then the game comes out, and you have a million frames of pop-in, and all these little issues that Frontiers had. It's just hard to take them seriously, but Shadow Generations, at least, it's a bit of a shorter game, but it did restore some of my faith that, okay, they are trying. They're going to be creative. There's not going to be glaring technical issues on something that, quite frankly, should not be there in 2025 or 2026 by the time they put it out. I'm sorry. You can't spend however much they spend on Frontiers and not iron out some of those basic issues. I'm not talking about, oh, there was a dropped frame during a boss battle. No. This was the entire game had pop-in to the point where half the game is loading as you're playing it. That's sloppy. I'm sorry. If any other company put that out, I'd be mocking them, so I kind of have to do the same here. For as fun as Frontiers is, and for as good as those controls are, and I give them a lot of credit, because Sega has struggled for years, and they might still, they've struggled for years to find a good 3D control scheme for Sonic that's not too slippery, that plays well, that's not too slow. It is hard. I'm not going to lie. It is hard to come up with a platformer like Sonic where you need it to be challenging, but you can't have him flying off the stage. Frontiers is about as close as I've seen it. The controls are so good. But it's how do they have pop-in that much? Well, forget the last boss. Last boss was a clusterfuck. Besides that, I did beat the last boss. We all saw his health bar go down to 0. I'm not having this debate again. But I still say Last Horizon was basically Sega giving the middle finger to everybody. Because even before that last boss, you saw the trouble I went through. And that's me. That's a veteran Sonic player who's kind of used to some bullshit. I think Sega looked at the complaints that the base game was too easy, and they said, all right, it's too easy? How about this? How about a balance beam a mile in the air with lasers all around it? It's like, what the hell are we doing here? But the funny thing is, the controls are so good in the game that even with all that thrown at me, I felt like I at least had a chance, and I did beat it in terms of that part. Past Sonic games, I wouldn't be able to. Sonic Unleashed, as much as I love Sonic Unleashed, and it is a great game, that game goes so fast and so out of control, there's no way you could have done that kind of platforming in Sonic Unleashed and done it well. So despite Frontier's bullshit at the end, you could do it. Landing Sonic from a high distance was very easy in that game. Unfortunately, the pop-in kind of went against you. You didn't always know where you were landing, but I can't blame, the controls for that. The controls were very well done in Sonic Frontiers, and that will always be something that I give it credit for. And the music. I'd say 3 out of 4 of the biggest things in Sonic Frontiers were excellent. It's just that last thing, which is really the polish and some of the level design, just kind of didn't land it for me. But again, I feel like that's fixable. That's more fixable than bad controls. If you have bad controls, you got to go back to square one. If you've got some, like, shoddy level design, you just have to, like, look at it and go, okay, what could we do better? One thing I love is you can adjust the controls. Yeah, no, that is legit. I've actually heard both sides of that argument, though. I've heard that, like, yes, it's great that you can customize your speed and acceleration. I've also heard, like, you know, why don't you just make it right, like, to Sega? Like, I kind of see both sides of that. Like, why don't you just program Sonic the way he's supposed to run? Because if you change his acceleration, which you can do, you kind of change how the game plays for better or worse. Like, I forget how I have mine set, but I like it. But even just the base controls are fine, but I do think adjusting acceleration and gravity and all that does help a little bit to make it feel more like a classic Sonic game. But then I kind of see the other side of it of like, well, why don't you just make it feel like that to begin with, Sega? Like, if you have the option to do it, why are you making us pick it? So, again, I don't believe that. I think Frontiers was great, as is, with the exception of that last section, which, I'm not going to lie, was probably one of my biggest letdowns in gaming for that period of time. Because to me, Frontiers was missing that big finale. You know, that perfect chaos moment, that BioWizard moment, you know, from the original 3D Sonic games. And for a game like Frontiers that did build up as you went, it felt like it was going to be like the biggest finale. Like, it felt like, you know, okay, we saw some really big bosses in the beginning of the game, but now they're going to really just go crazy. You know, I thought like even Robotnik would get in there. I thought there'd be like some crazy stuff. And even the base game, that ending is just disappointing. So when the final DLC came out, I'm like, okay, they're going to fix the ending. Now it's going to be like an even better game. They made the ending worse. And I'm not even talking about the parts where you got to play as Knuckles and you're climbing awkwardly up the tower. The actual finale, they made worse. They really did. I bet if you wanted, now that you know what to do, I probably could. And the point is, it's so convoluted. Even with that, I get it's supposed to be this epic moment. Sonic takes the gun and all this stuff. No one's going to figure that out, first of all, without Googling it. But it's just, to me, that's not a memorable moment. I don't care how easy or hard it is. There's other Sonic bosses, even like Sonic Colors, I think has a better final boss. Like, there's other bosses where I'm like, that's a great moment. I don't get that from Sonic Frontiers trying to play, you know, catch up with this ultra-powerful beast that looks like somebody drew it in, like, Microsoft Paint. Like, I didn't like it. The aiming is shoddy. The aiming is shoddy because it wasn't really meant to be in the game. Like, you can tell. Sonic is not really a shooter. Like, it's not a shooting game. It never has been. You know, like, some of his attacks are fine. Like, the new attacks he gave him worked fine. But, like, in that scenario, to all of a sudden give you, like, all these new attacks and how you have to deflect the projectiles, it's like, that would be interesting if you ever did that in the game at any other point. But you don't. At least not to that degree. So all of a sudden, they throw, like, 6 new mechanics at you in the final boss. And it's like, if you miss, you die. And you have to start the whole thing again. Which I think is just really bad game design. I'm not saying it's got to hold your hand through it, especially on a final boss, but I should not be going, what do I do after playing the game for like 100 hours and I still don't know what to do on a boss. Like, that should not be the case. And I'm not like a dumb gamer. I'm not the smartest gamer, but with Sonic, you guys know it. Like, it's really all I got. So, you know, I can understand. When I play something like that, I actually understand all the complaints that non-Sonic fans have about Sonic. I'm like, oh, what are you guys talking about? It's easy. I'm like, no, it's not easy. It's not easy when the controls suddenly change in the final boss and you're not told what to do, and there's a gun sitting over in Walmart, and you're supposed to go pull it out and bring it to Arkansas and fly it backwards. No, I get it now. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, non-Sonic fans. You were right. No one knows how the fuck to play this game because I've been playing it for 30 years and I don't know how to play it. Like, that's not good. Okay, like, that's kind of a point for the anti-Sonic people right there. Like, that cannot be happening in the final boss. Like, if you want to make that some mini-game or something, fine, but that cannot be happening in the main game. Like, what the hell? I don't know how we got on this topic, but to their credit, I was saying, like, Sonic final bosses haven't been that good. The final boss of Shadow Generations is very good. I'm not going to say amazing or great even, but it's really good. Might go on a little too long, but that's also because it took me a little while to figure out how to play it. I think if I played it again, I would beat it faster. But the part where you're, like, you're not Super Shadow, because he's not in the game, but you're, like, Shadow with the wings. You have to chase him. It's basically the same thing. You have to avoid the projectiles. It's good. It's much better than Frontier's final boss. I still think, and again, this is on Sega, I think the days of having a final boss where you just chase the final enemy and avoid his projectiles, even I think it's getting kind of old. Like, and I don't know how you fix that, but, you know, yeah, Doom Shadow. Like, it's fun, but it's also predictable. You know, it's like almost every Sonic final boss now is chase the enemy, kind of like I'm doing right now. Like, just race toward it, avoid the lasers, go left and right, and then smash it in the face. That's like every Sonic boss from the last, like, 10 years of games for final bosses. And yeah, it's epic for, like, a moment or two. It is. But then it's like, what else can this do? And to its credit, the Shadow Generations final boss, before you got to that part, had a lot of variations. You know, you're fighting him on water, you're doing some platforming, you're avoiding his attacks. But then you get to the Doom Shadow part, and it is just a lot of fly through the tunnel, avoid the lasers, hit him in the face, get pushed back, avoid the lasers, hit him in the face. This is me saying, like, I'm just being honest. You know, like, I can be honest about my favorite franchise. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I just think it's very predictable. You know, they changed the enemy. You know, obviously it's not the same boss, but the way you fight him is basically the same. I just ran into a rock. I mean, the laziest one, though, by far, is Sonic Forces. The Sonic Forces final boss is literally, like, ripped off of 3 other final bosses, and it's basically that. It's go to the left, go to the right, dodge the laser, hit him in the face. Like, that's all it is. There are some that use a few more creative elements. I don't think every Sonic boss has to be that. I think some can be that, but I don't think every Sonic boss needs to be avoid the lasers and hit him in the face. But again, I mean, I'm not making the games. Maybe that is the best idea. Will you be getting... Oh, I've already played it. I've already played Doom the Dark Ages. I haven't beaten it, but I've played a few streams of it. See, I kind of like the platforming. Again, I have, like, unpopular opinions. I know people didn't like Eternal, or the people who didn't like it because of the platforming. I like the platforming. Like, yeah, it's a little weird at times, but I kind of liked it. It added something to the game where I'm not just shooting demons. I'm like, oh, where do I go? Oh, that wall's got, like, a hook on it. Let me climb that wall. And there's a little bit of that in Dark Ages, but yeah, I'll agree they toned it back a lot. Hey, what's going on, Turtle? So, I mean, again, I have heard the complaints about Eternal. I guess I'm just, like, immune to certain things, because I love platforming. And I don't even consider what you do in Doom Eternal platforming. I mean, for a shooter game it is, but in most contexts, I don't really consider that platforming. It's just a little more, I don't know, it's a little more nuanced, I guess. But I'm not against it. I mean, if you were, like, climbing slow-moving platforms for an entire level, and maybe that does happen, then you'd have a case. But, like, there's really not that much platforming where it's, like, ruining the game for me. That said, yes, the controls aren't the best for it, but felt more like, yeah, I'll give you that. Although much more toned down in terms of the backtracking. But I get that. That is one thing I do like a lot more about Doom the Dark Ages, is that it's segmented. It's chapters. Like, I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6 or 7 out of 22. It's chapters, and each of those chapters is anywhere from, like, 45 minutes to an hour long. More if you go to search for all the secrets, but I like that format a lot better. Just as somebody who likes linear games. I mean, hell, that's why I love retro games so much. Like, retro games had to be linear, because, like, open worlds didn't really exist yet. But, like, I love, like, you know, I love the old classics. Like, we had Donkey Kong Country as one of the options. Who doesn't love Donkey Kong Country? You just go from level to level, you know, beating the obstacle course, and then you go to the next one. And it's not quite that simple in Doom the Dark Ages, but, I mean, it is kind of like, you know, Chapter 1, you know, you defeat this thing. Chapter 2. I like it. I get it. You know, people like open world exploration stuff. I like it sometimes. I will admit, we were talking about Frontiers earlier. I thought Frontiers handled its exploration a lot better than I thought it would. It's hard as... Oh, I'm sure it is. Oh, have you been playing Doom the Dark Ages? I mean, I basically just stick to the normal difficulty. Like the, what is it, Hurt Me Plenty or whatever. Like, I stick to that difficulty, and I still do fine with it. I die a decent amount, as we've seen, but it's not so difficult I want to stop. It's not like Nier Automata, where I was stuck in it. Doom is an arena shooter, and that is true. I want to play the multiplayer, actually, in Doom Eternal or Doom the Dark Ages at some point, just because I want to see if it gives me those old Quake flashbacks, because I love Quake. I know it's a different game, but there aren't that many arena shooters that I play. There aren't that many shooters I play, but freaking, like, Quake was the shit, man. I loved Quake back in the day. Oh my god, I was stuck in Nier for so long, and then for whatever reason, the last time I played the game, I don't know if you guys saw it, I beat the game. Or I beat, like, 2B's story, and then it kind of reset, but I beat that boss in, like, maybe 3 attempts. I don't know what changed, because I've been tinkering with that forever. Maybe it was just a 2-year break, but I beat the boss, and actually the final boss I didn't think was as hard as the boss before it. It wasn't easy, but I think I beat it on 1 try, maybe 2 tries. And then I get to that final boss, and I'm like, that's it? Like, I just didn't think that was the final boss. It was cool, but after everything else you do in that game, I'm like, the final boss is going to be, like, impossible. It really wasn't. And funny enough, now I kind of want to play Nier Automata again because you get new content. I'm playing as 9S now, which he has a completely different style of gameplay. I mean, sometimes he doesn't, but a lot of his stuff seems more based on rail shooters and puzzle solving, whereas, you know, 2B was more close combat and all that. Again, I can't really say. I've only played as 9S for maybe like an hour compared to the rest of the game. So yeah, Nier Automata, we might see more of that over the summer just because there's finally something to do. I'm not just playing the same boss for the 20th time. Stellar Blade, which is another fun game with a female protagonist that fights things. I'm kind of stuck in that game on a similar boss battle, but let's spend Retro talking about which games I'm stuck on, because that's really the main deterrent for me. That's why I don't go back to games like God of War, and, like, I want to, but it's like, I don't want to get frustrated for 2 hours. Like, I want to, like, feel like I'm doing something. Like, probably the next game I finish in terms of, like, a bigger game is going to be Spider-Man 2 on PS5 because I greatly enjoy that game. And even if I get stuck on a boss, it's, like, worth it because the game around it is so good. And it doesn't feel cheap when you get beaten by a boss. It feels cheap that some of the bosses go on for literally 5 phases, but I also don't care because it's freaking Venom. Spoilers. Do I love my Purple Florp? I don't know if I want to answer that until I know what Purple Florp is. But I love seeing so many people here for Retromania 77. How you doing, the list of finished games? It's more than you think. It's not that many, but it's more than you think. Which is the best endorsement I can give, I guess. Is that it's more than you think. It's not a ton. But yeah, welcome to Retromania 77, Toaster. We got some Sonic All-Stars. That was a short course. I don't know what Purple Florp is, so I'm not going to say I like it or not, because that's just a whole other thing. But yeah, welcome to the show. Like I said, we got plenty of retro activity going on here, and plenty of people here to see it, which is even better. And plenty of retro games still to come. Here in round 1 of Retromania 77. Alright, I'll probably do one more course here before we move on to round 2. And that will be, if I can find it, the Nights into Dreams course, because that's another fun, sort of summery course. I'm trying to pick the ones that feel more like summer, kind of have that nice, bright summer atmosphere, which is funny, because the lighting in this room right now is not so good. Although the sun started to come out, it was actually pretty cloudy this morning. Whew, it is hot out, though. Definitely hot out. So if you can, stick to the indoors and watch a little Chaos Blur here as we get retroactive. Trying to find the Nights in the Dream stage real quick. I forgot Shinobi had a stage as well. Ooh, what's up there? This map is not the most navigable thing. Yeah, he really is. Along with TMNT and Avatar. They didn't show any of them, but they showed SpongeBob, obviously. I like how Squidward was there, like as a background thing. Oh, Golden Axe. I will say they do dive into some pretty unique franchises here. There's Knights. I don't think Knights is a playable character, though. I don't know who this character is. The Avatar? Wait, I can play as myself? I never knew that. Having trouble with the map? I really am having trouble with one. That's alright, these things happen. Actually, no, let's do Metal Sonic. Let's mix it up a little bit. There's actually a lot of characters I still haven't unlocked in this game. Despite all those years. It's been 84 years. Actually, this game's about 15 years old now. I feel old. Or was it 2012? I can never remember if this game was 2010 or 2012. We'll find out another time. Yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. Plenty of room for everybody. Right after this race, we're going to have round 2 voting for Retromania 77, so don't go anywhere. We're having some good talks here about, you know, retro stuff, Sega stuff, all kinds of great stuff. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. 1, go! More right now. Whee! Ouch. I do enjoy that Nights in the Dreams music, though. I do wish they would do more with this IP, other than just referencing it in racing games and Sonic Adventure briefly. Whoa, watch out. Uh-oh. Whoa, watch out. Whoa, watch out. Whoa, watch out. I saw another wheelchair joke. Are you telling me not to release my I guess? That helps you feel better about the whole thing? Sure. Whee! Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. That's a fun game in general. I mean, I would just want a new Outrun at that point. I feel like that series is not that, like, I don't want to say creative, but I mean, like, it shouldn't take that much to just kind of, like, I kind of hit that. I'm sucking ass right now. I really trying to release the Kraken or whatever. No, they haven't. And that's kind of the thing with Sega, is, like, they have these little phases where they come out with a bunch of, like, really good games, and then they kind of just go dormant for years. Oh, I do enjoy this part. You are spoiled. Alright, fine. I mean, yes, let's joke about handicapped people. That's the way to go. You know, Outrun. I've actually heard that, too, and there's, like, apparently, like, a couple people cast for it already. How many of these gaming movies actually happen, though? I mean, I know a lot do, but, like, how many of them do we hear about and they never come out? Like, isn't there supposed to be a new, like, Street Fighter movie coming out? Like, is it going to? I don't know. I mean, the Zelda movie I know will come out, because that's a big movie from Nintendo. Who can't outrun anyone. Oh, here comes the joke. Oh, my God, it's going to be creative. Lap 2! First place! Even better. Ouch! Yeah, it was even better till then. Alright, just gotta fly through the rings here. Watch out. Sega loves rings. Flying through them, collecting them, whatever you gotta do, really. I mean, with that context, it really does not sound good, but I'm not the one making the jokes half the time. At least with that, when it comes to that. Hey, yo. Watch out. Now it's cool. Ooh, boost! Ouch! He keeps putting Nightmare in there. Alright, fine. Whoa. I do enjoy all the references to the classic Knights bosses here. It really just bobs into dreams. I mean, we are doing that right now. Watch out. Maybe. Yeah, you know what? In real life, I'm a real douchebag. I'm just pretending to be nice online. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way! I don't need to stop reading the comments when I'm in the middle of the race. But I'm not going to. So I like reading comments. Who doesn't love reading comments? Comments are fun. We're reading them right now. Hey, yo. Alright, I guess that joke's never gonna die, just like everything else. He even remembers the year. And he's right. It was that year. I do enjoy making a couple bad jokes and they follow me for the rest of my life and we all ignore all the other things. It's alright. But when I read these comments, just you wait, I'll be reading them. I do enjoy Crash Team Racing. That firework just like bounced off the ground. Hot Rod! This is kind of a situational one. Second place here. Hey, yo! Oh, no, that got blocked. Watch out, bees. I mean, apparently. More right now. I mean, I did enjoy... Okay, yeah, running over my Staples shirt was a great moment, I'm not gonna lie. But now Staples is gone. At least that store is. The store that I toiled away at for 16 plus years is no longer there. I can't even visit and look at it. We'll read more of these comments right after round 1, which is coming to an end momentarily. I toasted the what? Oh, I really did. Yeah, okay. No, I thought you meant I put it like in the toaster. Yeah, it's gone. The New London one's still there, but the one I worked at is gone. They closed like in May. It was probably a combination of bad sales, but also I guess the person who owned the building next to him like just bought it. So now, like, the whole thing is basically one big medical center, which is what you would have needed after going to Staples anyway. So, yep, it gone. I visited a few times after I worked there, but